Dajahao, my name is Garrick, and welcome back to Taiwan Lao Wai. So we are getting into the thick of Taiwan summer now, which means the heat is gonna start going up, and my prospects for comfort are gonna start going down. So, to help us beat the heat, I think it's time for another market meals. We are going to make some watermelon water ice to help us beat this sweltering heat. I've made this once before. It's actually quite fun to make if you don't mind, killing an afternoon on it. It's a wonderful way to help stave off the worst of summer. So let's get to it. Alright, so the nice thing about making watermelon water ice is you only need 4 ingredients. First, obviously, there's the watermelon itself. I purchased this big boy at the market yesterday for 170 NTD, which I believe is just over $5 US. Once again, you have got to love Taiwanese prices. Then we've got some lemons to help balance out with acidity, and as you can tell, I've got the real yellow lemons instead of the Taiwanese green lemons because I guess I'm just more nostalgic for them or something. And after that, all we need are salt and sugar. As you can tell, this is not classic white sugar, this is Taiwanese golden sugar. I kind of like using it. It has sort of a deeper molassesy flavor that I like. And salt just helps balance everything out. Just don't put too much in. You want like margarita glass levels, not overwhelming. Obviously, the hardest step is gonna be cutting and juicing the watermelon itself. Because of all the seeds, you can't really use like a blender or a food processor for it, because all those chopped up seeds will get mixed in as well, and that is not going to be tasty for anyone. So we have no choice but to juice this bad boy by hand. Let me show you how. Okay, first step obviously is going to be to portion this bad boy. I think I'm going to use about half of this for my water ice, because when you juice watermelon, it loses a lot of its structure and I guess the total volume shrinks down a lot. Not to worry though, we will still have plenty left over for snacking. And because there is no way I can safely do this cutting shot with a phone in hand, I will see you after the slice. Good God, look at how glistening red this flesh is. My goodness. I can already tell this is gonna be juicy as heck. Alright, so we've plastic wrapped one half and put it in the fridge. We're gonna use this half for our water ice. Fun fact, I am actually using my water bottle as a stand for my phone right now. When the going gets tough, the tough get creative. So the next step is going to be to shave off all this watermelon rind. Look, you can tell it's already juicing immensely just from this. This thing is bursting with juice. Tell you what, to make it easier to handle, we're going to slice it in half again. I think doing it in quarters will be a lot less problematic. Once again, just look at this nonsense. Oh my god! Okay, doing this a quarter at a time. Obviously, the goal is to get off as much of the green rind as possible without sacrificing the red watermelon flesh. The best method I have found to do that is to start at the top and sort of go at a diagonal down this way, so you can like shave off with your eyes following exactly where the green meets the red. I will attempt to do that right now. Oop, as you can see, I'm already risking going too far deep. You can easily tell I am not a master at this. Okay, so we're actually going to start further down here. Shave off the bottom half. Yeah, that's much better. Alright, so we've got an incision now. We can see the line of demarcation more clearly. I'm going to slip my blade in like so and pull. And as you can see, we only lost a teensy bit of flesh here. That right there is the chef's dividend, in case you don't know. Alright, I'm going to turn this to the back now, which I think is a little better angle for me. And you're just going to keep shaving it down like so. As you can see, once again, did not take too much off. And the more you reveal, the easier it will be to tell where to cut to get the last little bits off without sacrificing too much flesh. Or sacrifice all the flesh you want, and it can go in your mouth. That's my tip of cooking. The more you waste, the more goes in your mouth. And that really is the method in a nutshell. Just keep going around, finding the green, shaved against the grain, whittle it down smaller and smaller, until you're left with nothing but ruby red, delicious, juicy watermelon flesh. Alright, this bad boy has been shaved down to just its redness, and I would like you to appreciate how much it has been juicing as I cut it. Like, look at that. This thing is leaking. Alright, don't mind the towel, it's actually leaking so much I had to set up a little dam to catch the runoff. My god. Alright, so the next step is to cube this watermelon. We need to chop it into small-ish cubes that are easier for juicing. And that, of course, is going to be a much easier step. They need to be small enough on every side that you can reasonably pass them through a strainer. So basically just cut, keep the pieces together as you cut so you can cut them more uniformly. Cut to whatever thickness or I guess width works best for you. And behold the result. As you can see, these are not all even pieces, but they do not have to be. God, that's good. Alright, set those aside in a very big bowl for now. And we're going to do the same exact thing to the other quarter. Okay, definitely lost a bit more flesh off that second one because I was rushing a bit. Let that be a lesson, do not rush, haste makes waste. But regardless, we've got a sizable mountain of watermelon chunks here, and now it is time to get juicing. Okay, so to properly juice a watermelon, we need three things. We need a smaller bowl for the juice to go into, we need a colander to push the watermelon through, or a sieve, and we need a masher to mash the watermelon through. Now what makes this easy is that watermelon is like some ridiculously high percent water already, so you do not need to do much to get it to crumble or squeeze into juice. Once again, this is going to be very hard to show actually doing, but the concept is you get your chunks in the sieve, you mash down with your masher, and the juice should mash through into the bowl below while keeping all the seeds and solids in the sieve and out of your concoction. Okay, smash cut to a minute later. I have mashed the first batch. You can see it's like dissolved into tiny solid chunks without too much juice. It's just like the pulpiness left. And down below we have some nice smooth watermelon juice. Let me dip a finger in and taste. That's so good. You can tell the watermelon flavor is concentrating as you crush it down. It tastes so much more watermelon-y. Now, this process can be tedious, depending on how much watermelon you cut and how finely you want to mash it to get all those nice juices out. Whoop, 1 minute in the drink, hold on a second. So chances are I am going to be here for a while. I'm gonna skip over showing you most of this because, again, it's like very impossible to show, because you need both hands, one to hold the sieve, one to mash to keep it steady. But I will tear away at this pile of melon and I will see you when we have ourselves it all done. Did that make grammatical sense? I don't know. See you when we're done.
1 hour later.
Okay, it took me about 20 minutes, but the watermelon has been juiced. As you can tell, it's back in the big bowl, and the volume has been reduced by close to half or thereabouts. I passed it back and forth through the strainer a few times just to make sure all the solids were out. And just from looking, it looks pretty clear to me. Now wipe that sweat off your brow because we're almost done. We just have to put in the rest of the ingredients. Also, make sure you wash your sieve super well because it is gonna have watermelon gunk crammed into every single pocket and you need to get it all out. But next up come the lemons. We're basically just gonna slice them in half and use this chopstick to juice them into our solution. Obviously, you can juice these however you want. I'm not your mom, I won't snitch. Just make sure you're doing it in a way that the lemon seeds do not get into the water ice either. because this whole process is about not getting seeds into the water ice. And yes, we are using 2 whole lemons because this is a lot of watermelon juice, so we need a lot of lemon juice to make a citrusy impact in there. God, this is so unsanitary. Do me a favor, if you are making this for more people than just yourself, make sure you have a slightly less hands-on, hands-in-everything way of doing this, because this is nasty. Okay, lemons are juiced. You did not see me use the chopstick because, again, 2 hands, but I assure you I did, and it was very helpful. Let's give it a quick taste. It can be hard to tell before it's frozen, but I think I taste just the amount of lemon I want in there. That is good. And after that, it's just however much sugar and salt you want. Adjust to your own tastes. Just remember to go light on the salt. It should be an accent, not the primary flavor. Mix to combine, make sure it's all nice and incorporated. And that, folks, is watermelon water ice base. Go us. Right, it has been decanted into a proper container. All that's left to do is put the lid on nice and tight and pop this in the freezer for a few hours. And that is it. We are quite literally done in less than an hour. That's how fast it goes. Obviously, the hardest part is mashing all that watermelon, but once you get in the rhythm, it goes by pretty quickly. Now all that's left to do is clean up the mess I made, wash all the dishes, wipe down the counters, and I will see you back later tonight when the ice is done becoming ice. See you then.
Several days later.
And smash cut to a week later. Yeah, I got a little lazy about getting around to actually eating this stuff. But hey, on the bright side, it probably gave it plenty of time to freeze up for me, so there's that. So here is our watermelon water ice in all its ruby red glory. Now, in full honesty, I've talked to my mom about making this, and according to her, I got the technique slightly wrong, and I ended up with something more like granita than water ice. The difference is with water ice, you have to keep stirring it while it's in the process of freezing, so the ice crystals get a lot smaller and it gets more of like a snow-like consistency, as opposed to this block of frozen watermelon goodness I have right now. So that is something to know for next time. I might leave this in the fridge for a bit to melt slightly and then do that technique again, see if that gets me anywhere. But for now, we do in fact have an approximation of watermelon water ice, so I think it's time to taste the fruits of our labor. Snow on a hot summer day. Oh yeah. Oh yes, wow, right away. Yeah, that's really good. It sort of hits you right away with the sweetness of the watermelon and the tartness of the lemon, and then it mellows out into sort of a warmer sweetness, which I'm gonna say is probably from the brown sugar. And the whole experience is just so cold and so refreshing and so good. It's definitely a little hard to eat this way. I'm definitely gonna try to do the melty and the swirly to make it more like proper water ice. So I'll make sure to put that part onto this video as well, so we can taste the difference together. Or rather, I can taste the difference and I can tell you the difference, because YouTube has not invented Taste-O-Vision yet. It's a real oversight on their part. You should get on that, YouTube. Taste-O-Vision. I expect good money for the patents. Anyways, whatever. We're gonna pop this in the fridge for a bit, let it melt a bit so it can get more water icy. So I will see you for the next step of that process, whenever it ends up happening.
1 day later.
And smash cut to tomorrow. And yes, I did get my hair cut in the intervening day. My apologies, I know I look a bit ridiculous. Anyway, as you can see, we have fine-tuned our watermelon granita back into water ice. I left it in the fridge long enough for it to melt back down into water, and then I put it back in the freezer, and every, say, 30 minutes to an hour, I would come and give it a stir. And as you can see, what that did is it loosened up the ice crystals. So instead of one big solid chunk of ice, we've got all these little shavings that are much closer to the ideal of water ice. It's still a little frozen solid further down. It's probably better if I did this from scratch rather than, you know, freezing it first and then melting it down and then freezing it again. But considering I just learned that technique, I am very happy with how this is looking. Now, I already tasted, but now we can get a nice big spoonful instead of just a few scraps. Cheers. Man, that's cold. You're shocked, I can tell. It's interesting. I think doing it this way has made the flavor mild out a little. I taste much more ice than watermelon or lemon. I don't dislike it. Oh wait, it's more flavor in that bite. Okay, I just got a bit of a dry patch the first time. Yep, so surprise, surprise, this is still really good. I'm gonna keep this handy throughout the Taiwan summer, and it'll keep me nice and cool. And that is another successful market meals. I hope you enjoyed yourself. I hope you try out this recipe yourself. Really, once you get past mashing the watermelon itself, this is like one of the easiest things you can make. So try it out, see if you can beat the heat, and yeah. I didn't know how to end that sentence at all. Alright, once again, thank you for joining me at Taiwan Lao Wai. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, smash the bell, share with your friends, all that good stuff. And as always, I will see you next time. 再见. Bye bye!